Well, if only a basketball game consisted of the second and third quarter alone as the final outcome of a game, then the Bulls might be in pretty decent shape this season, but I mean, I don't know what to say anymore, guys. What can you say at this point? The Bulls absolutely fell apart yet again in the fourth quarter, getting outscored 37-19 in the fourth. Yes, there was some bad officiating. I know some guys in the live chat were losing it over some of the calls that were missed, myself included, but come on now, that's no excuse to just collapse in the fourth quarter and lose by 19 points. It just isn't. And given the fact that the Wizards won tonight against the Lakers and are just absolutely on a roll right now, you have to think this season is all but done at this point. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. I think what frustrated me most about this game was the fact that the Bulls started off incredibly slow, playing terrible defense and with little effort and quickness in getting to their man and rotating on screens. They came out and had an amazing second and third quarter. It was like they completely flipped a switch and decided they actually wanted to start playing well. And then that switch was flipped right back off again to start the fourth quarter. I mean, if you guys have been following my channel for a while now, you know one of my biggest pet peeves is when guys don't play hard and go 100% for the whole 48 minutes. The level of inconsistent play, not even just from game to game, but quarter by quarter, just drives me bonkers. I seriously can just not figure it out. A lot of it is on the players, don't get me wrong. You know, they're the ones that actually play in the game. They're the ones playing on the court, but some of it has to sit with the coaching staff as well, and them being held accountable for your team's level of effort night in and night out. It's on the coaching staff to work these guys a little harder. I'm not saying it's all on them, but at some point you have to have a stronger voice in the locker room to say this kind of play can't be tolerated. And it's also motivation and confidence thing, right? These guys get down on themselves and don't fight back when shots aren't going down, and the opposing team goes on a run. They just put their heads down as a result. Where is the mental toughness? Where is the grit and vigor to come out and show that you want it more than the other team, and to keep that intensity even if you are getting blown out, to get mad and then play even harder to at least make the game respectable? But for most of these guys, I'm not saying all of them, but for most of these guys, they just get defeated and stop playing as hard when a team starts taking a big lead. You have to have that fire in you that even though you're falling behind, you want to show that you're not giving up if the game seems to be out of reach, because as a professional basketball player, you're a competitor. You shouldn't ever be okay with losing. Anyway, a bit of a rant, because at the end of the day, I'm not really concerned about this team's future. I mean, we all knew that this was going to be an evaluation year, and don't get me wrong, it's still a disappointing season because we assumed the Bulls would at least make the playoffs, or at a minimum the play-in game. I mean, come on, the league has made it so easy for any team to at least make somewhat of a postseason when you only have to finish top 10 out of 15 teams in your conference. And the Bulls likely aren't even going to be able to do that. But in any event, it's not, like this is a season where we thought that our team was going to be competing for a championship or even making a run in the playoffs. So yes, it's a disappointment when you look at the season, especially after we traded our first round pick, which now you basically have to cross your fingers and pray we somehow land in the top 4. But again, I don't have doubts that the right moves are going to be made this offseason. And I think with a full training camp with this roster, hopefully even further development from guys like Patrick Williams, Troy Brown Jr., and Coby White, the Bulls will come out much better and stronger the next season. Otherwise, yeah, if we see more of this next year, that's a big problem, and I would assume that Donovan likely won't make it to the end of the season if this continues, if this team anyway continues to perform in the way that it has. As for this game though, I mean, like I said, a great second and third quarter for the Bulls, but very, very poor first and fourth quarters. I mean, the Bulls fell by as many as 18 points in the first to actually take the lead at one point in the third quarter, to then losing the game by 19. Like, what is that? And why do the Bulls feel the need to take so many threes when their inside game is proving to be more successful for them? I'm not saying that's every game, because there are games where the Bulls are moving the ball well, spreading the floor well, and knocking down threes at a great clip. But in the first quarter, you shoot terribly from deep. In the second quarter, you focus more on going inside, and you end up getting back in the game as a result. And then in the fourth quarter, you start settling for threes again when the Knicks go on a run, and look what happens. I honestly just don't get it. I mean, the Bulls turned the ball over 14 times, which is sad to say, but actually is a better turnout for them. You know, generally they're turning the ball over more than that. But you compare that to the Knicks, who only had 4 turnovers the whole game. That's a team that knows how to take care of the basketball and play scrappy defense. Man, I miss Tibbs. I mean, you look at the box score for the Bulls, and there's really nothing to be excited about outside of Vucevic, right? Who had 26 points and 18 rebounds. I mean, what more is that guy to do at this point? I mean, I guess he could play a little bit better defense. He did have 2 blocks, though, which is rare for him anyway. Coby White, I mean, still struggling to find his shot more recently. You know, he shot only 5 for 13 tonight on 12 points. Didn't get to the foul line at all, but what I did like seeing from Coby, which we have been seeing a lot more recently, is his improved court vision. He's finding, you know, the open man a lot better and making the right passes more often than not. He did have 9 assists tonight to go along with 12 points, but minus 23 tonight. That was rough. And Daniel Theis, I mean, one of his best games on Monday, and was pretty quiet tonight with only 6 points and 4 rebounds. Garrett Temple actually had an okay game tonight. I mean, his play never really shows up that much in the stat sheet because he does have a lot of, you know, does do a lot of great things on defense. But he had 12 points, shooting 5 for 6, and he had 5 assists tonight. I also like seeing Markkanen being a little more aggressive and getting to the basket. He had 14 points and 6 rebounds tonight on 5 for 9 shooting. But anyway, I don't know why I'm talking as if these are all bright spots, because at the end of the day, the Bulls as a collective unit didn't play well, especially in the fourth quarter, and they made Julius Randle look like LeBron James out there. A bit of an exaggeration, and to be fair, Julius Randle is a hell of a player, and he deserves a lot of the credit for the Knicks' success this season. Anyway, the Bulls are back to 10 games below 500, and it's looking like this season is all but a wrap at this point with the way the Wizards have been playing, the fact that it's not looking like Lavine will be returning until next week, and the difficult schedule ahead. It may be time for us Bulls fans to accept that we are yet again missing the postseason. Obviously, there is still a chance. There are only 2 games behind the Wizards, but yeah, it's not looking good. Anyway, I'll be back out with another video tomorrow. This one will actually be a mailbag question that I have for you guys. So rather than me answering your guys' mailbag questions, I have some for you that I want to hear your thoughts on. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe as I post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.